Paul Carlton, an ITN cameraman, and I joined his convoy into the capital.
Massoud started his final march on Kabul from the former Russian air base at Bagram, 40 miles to the north. He studied the road carefully, worried that some of Gulbuddin Hekmatyar's Hizb-i Islami supporters might ambush his column. He had assembled a huge force of tanks and armored personnel carriers, the crews a mixture of his own Panjshiri troops, Uzbeks from the north, and Afghan army. Many of them had decorated their tanks with spring flowers and looked remarkably relaxed. Massoud spent the last hours before departure briefing and encouraging, no detail too minor for his attention. He said he was anxious not to have to fire a shot in anger on his way into the city. The first part of the huge convoy started to move off in the late afternoon. Massoud would not give the size of the force, but it looked like 5,000 men with 200 tanks and armored personnel carriers. Massoud decided to go in the second part of the convoy, just in case there was opposition on the way. Does he expect any trouble when he gets into Kabul?
There is one point between us and Kabul that we don't have any confidence on them. This is one point.
One last question. Did he ever believe 14 years ago, when the coup took place in 1970, did he ever believe that he would one day march into Kabul?
Always I was thinking that I will go to Kabul like today. Because I believe that this regime will be finished and we will be the first people to go inside the city.
He must be a very happy man. Massoud's Panjshiris, the backbone of his force, have a last meal of rice and naan before setting off for Kabul, the dream about to become reality. A reality made possible by General Mahbub, the army commander whose secret alliance with Massoud brought about the final collapse of the Najibullah regime. At 6, Massoud started the ultimate stage of the journey, which began 13 years ago with only 27 companions. Now it was rather different. There were almost 27 men to a tank, armed to the teeth with modern weapons, anti-aircraft guns with their Uzbek crews from Mazar-e Sharif in the north. The sheer weight of numbers, at times looking positively dangerous. Across the plain of Karabakh, with no interference from Gulbuddin Hekmatyar's men, the convoy travelled into the night, excitement rising. Massoud had predicted it would take 3 years to bring down the communist regime, and he was right to within a few months. On the outskirts of Kabul, Massoud stopped for prayers. His had been answered. Now he was in Kabul and the celebrations started. Today, Massoud savoured his triumph, congratulated by dozens of friends and well-wishers. But there must have been many times when only he and a handful of his closest supporters thought this day would really come.
Massoud and the other members of the new administration faced the considerable task of rebuilding the country. Not the least of their problems will be the rehabilitation of a generation that's grown up knowing little but violence and bloodshed. Paul Davies reports.